What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Movie Files. Joining me, as always, it's the one and only Chief. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody?
I can't complain. And oh yeah, this guy, little brother Jace. How are you?
Hello.
We got 80s kids from the 90s in the building.
What's going on, kid? What's going on, man?
And Afton Child is here as well. What's going on, guys?
Afton Child, what's going on?
All right, so we're in this weird period of time where not a lot of shows out, not too much of anything interesting coming up. Most of the big stuff that's coming now are some of these really great movies from early in the year coming to digital and home video, like Fast X and Spider-Man, the newest one. So lots of stuff on that front to be excited about. What up, Blake?
Blake, what's up, Blake?
But yeah, there's not much exciting happening on the TV show. There's no shows to get excited about right now. I mean, Ahsoka's coming later, but right now it's not like, oh man, are y'all catching this show? Are y'all watching this? And I decided let's peel the curtain back a little bit and think to some of those great shows, those great franchises that we loved so much back in the day, that they made a terrible botch where they had a fork in the road and they decided, let's just go straight. It doesn't even matter. We go left to right, we're just going to plow straight ahead. There's no road. Doesn't matter.
You don't need no straight roads.
And we're going to essentially ruin this franchise for y'all. So I figured we'd do this for a bit because I feel like most franchises don't escape unscathed at this point. We're just there's a reality where, okay, this is where I get off. And they may keep going for years, many more sequels, what have you, but you're comfortable, you're satisfied with your decision, your choice to say, yep, that's it for me. So I think we can do this for a while. Let's go a little round robin. So we'll just keep going one at a time with one, and then we'll switch off, go to the other one.
All right.
So I guess in the spirit of things, I'll kick us off. So my first one, 100%, has to be Friends. When they decided, let's put Joey and Rachel together, I was like, whoa. The show had been all about Ross getting with Rachel from like episode 1. And they were getting really desperate because they were really trying to stretch out to get to 10 seasons because they were like, we have nothing else on this network. So please stay. And there's like, only you pay us $1 million each episode. Huh?
Done.
Yeah. They really were. They were like, it's a wrap. No problem. We got you. And they're like, oh, okay. I guess we'll just keep cranking out episodes. And they decided to take the show Doofus because every sitcom has that really dumb character. Martin had,
Tommy.
I'm trying to think, who's it Tommy? It was Cole. Right. I had Tommy in my head. I was like, that's wrong. It's not him. I mean, every show, Upton, Living Single, she's Living Single had 2. But in Rose on Golden Girls, so it's always that dummy character. For Friends, it was 100% Joey. And Rachel was the lead character's crab, his lobster. And they decided, let's put them together. So we had to suffer through so many seasons, so many episodes. Was it like 2 seasons, season and a half?
It was it was actually on my list. It was the end of season 7 when he fake proposes. He tries to propose because Ross was going to propose, but they didn't do it. And then it's season 8 and 9, they decided to have this Joey, Rachel, will they, won't they? And you're like, I don't want to. Like, call me when it's over. It's the last season. I mean, yeah, even that break didn't help. It was like
80s kid knows what we're talking about. Yeah, it was awesome.
That was good. Yeah.
So they got together?
Huh? Yeah, dude, they were together for like a season and a half, and then they were like, all right, we're wrapping this thing up season 10. So it was basically, hey, forget that happened. Just forget it. It's Ross and Rachel. We're putting them together, and that's how the show ended. It was like, why did we have to suffer through those abomination seasons where they try to make Joey and Rachel a thing?
Yeah. The bro code right out the window, huh? I said the bro code right out the window, huh?
It was like it was,
Mm.
it was
Wow.
terrible on multiple levels. Not the least of which that part. It's like, come on, man. All right, so we're spinning this magic wheel here of shows, movies, franchises that were like, yep, we're done. Chief, what's yours? What's your first?
You know, right off the top, I think about Supergirl. We used to come in here and we were like, man, you know, blah blah blah. Supergirl was pretty good, pretty decent. And then, man, it's just like they stopped putting in the effort. They just like Supergirl would. I think the first thing I noticed was she got slammed into a car.
That was early on.
It was like season 1.
Yeah, so the car didn't move. There was no dent, and I was like, So then we go on, and the Blue Sun? The Blue Sun episode?
That was
and we was like, yo, the Blue Sun is supposed to give her crazy strength. And she was in that joint just... So that part, and then I think right after, was it Manchester Black? And he got hit in the head with the industrial crane hook. And I was like, I said, I'm done. And I stopped watching. That joint got so, it was just ridiculous, man. The characters got weird. The plots got weird. The action got
lazy.
You know, Chief, it's like you don't really want to tell us what you're thinking. You got the mouth cupped like, I'm trying to keep this a secret. Let the world know, Chief. Put it out there.
It was just weird, man. The whole thing was just weird. And I was glad that I stepped away. I remember you guys still talking about it. And you guys used to get on this joint pissed. And I remember sitting back. It was almost that like the what's that? Stand By Me when he put the castor oil in the pies and everybody was throwing up and he kind of just sat back in his chair and he was like, and that's how I used to be when you guys would come on and talk about Supergirl because I had stopped watching and you was like, you know what happened this week episode? I was like, yeah, that's what is it? Our show. Like that's an hour of your life. You'll never get back. You'll never get back. Yeah.
Well, the thing was, Supergirl had a great season. When they introduced Reign, basically her doomsday, it set it up so well. And for a change, a show had 4 women characters where it wasn't, look at us, we're so great. We have 4 women who were talking and interacting. It just flowed really natural. It wasn't this, they weren't trying. It just happened. And it was a really, really great dynamic. It's like, yes, this is good. And then it was like, all right, we got to make Reign a villain. It was like, okay. I mean, that happens on shows where there's a dude lead and one of his friends betrays him and they're fighting or whatever. But then they're like, all right, Reign has to go out of town, never to be heard from again. And that was stupid because they had a great dynamic with the 4 of them. And then it was like, hey, Mon-El, he wasn't really married to Saturn Girl, so you're good, Supergirl. You're not a homewrecker. And then they just started doing wonky stuff with the Legion, with Mon-El. And I was like, y'all are really losing me. But that season with Reign was great. And then everything after that kept going downhill. And
downhill or off a cliff?
Well, it fell off the cliff. I mean, it really fell off the cliff. And it was, I really liked it because I was like, this is cool. They're doing their thing. But it really, really hit the bricks. They brought in John Cryer's Lex Luthor to kind of put a nice Band-Aid over it. He was solid. But then they started doing some stuff where they've written themselves into a corner. It's like, nah, man, Supergirl's done at this point. Well, I mean, the show's called Supergirl. And it was, all right, well, I guess you're going to have to do some dumb stuff to keep this thing going. But that was it.
Again, the fact that it was like Melissa Benoist's like, hey, I got pregnant. I can't really do the whole Supergirl thing. No, don't worry. We got it. How? Don't worry about it. Well, you'll be a side character. We'll just have your head every now and then. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Like, when they were talking about, hey, we'll just continue the show with Dreamer as the lead. It's like, it's called Supergirl. Like, y'all can't just.
We're glad you got pregnant right in the middle of shooting.
Like, that was weird.
Dreamer is the
rest of the video was going to be the ones that's going to keep you here. Like, you've said Supergirl's the best superhero ever. Like, no one's ever been as strong and beautiful and more awesome than her. Like, why are you just gonna have her? Yeah, she's out now. Like, yeah, but that was you saved yourself that season finale where like, hey, why is Lex who hates aliens messing with Mixelplix kind of.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that final season.
Yeah, like they made a female Mixoplex, and like Lex was so super in love with her. It was like,
oh no, I didn't even know.
Sounds like you missed out, Chief.
I don't think
so
I did.
I
don't think I did.
I just started an episode of that final season.
Jace was a trooper.
He's something. He's something.
Yeah.
All right, bro, shot. Well, it's your turn. What you got?
Okay. All right. So for mine, I'm gonna stick with the bro code. Mine is season 3 of How I Met Your Mother.
I saved that for you because I knew you were gonna go there.
Is that moment when Barney, the TV purveyor of the bro code, hooks up with his boy's ex-girlfriend. It's like, it was like, and they couldn't even get around it in the show. Like every character in the show is like, you talk about the bro code. You have a daggone book of the bro code. Isn't this like number 1 in there? It's like, yes, I know. It's like, like how do you, after that point, it was just like, when y'all made that Britney Spears episode that basically made everybody think he was the lead of the show, screwed you up and put you in a bind, but it kept y'all on the air. But it was like after that point, it was like, oh, we're gonna go Barney. And this Ted guy, yeah, he's collecting a check in this joint. So at that point, it was like when they did that hookup, it was like, okay, call me when somebody tells me it's a Ted focused episode, like the last season. 90% of it wasn't about Ted and how he actually met his wife, and it was like, is this a Ted episode? No, I see they're starting to show off with Barney. I'll catch you later. Like I was so happily gone after that mess. So, and 80s, glad to see you agree.
So I think it's only fitting then, because I think we need to do the tag team, because you were like, I'm out. And I said, I'm going to keep watching the show to the end. And it was only fitting because I had to return the favor, because with the show I got to go to next, and this is ironic because the timing of this is quite fitting with the strike just dooming Heroes. And Heroes had an amazing first season. It was so good. It felt cutting edge. Like they were right the cusp of the whole superhero, like superheroes were running everything. And they were right there. It felt like season 1 of The Walking Dead, where this was about to be this massive juggernaut that was just going to go on for like 10 seasons. There's no stopping it. You're just going to get caught into it. And this is midway through season 2 where it was like the strike hit and things started getting real dicey. And again, another bro code issue came up where it's like, ooh, I don't know about this one. And then they started trying to go, that serial killer from season 1, we're going to make him a good guy. And that's when I said, so out. I'm done. Like, this guy killed one of my favorite characters. I mean, there are a lot of characters he killed, but he killed one of my favorites. And I was like, why are we supposed to care for this character? Never mind. I'm done. Thank you. And you, dear brother, you were like, I got you. I'm going to keep watching this show. And I said, dumb sucker. Thank you.
Yeah. Because I stuck around like, their whole writer strike is like, because if you actually watch the season 2 Blu-ray, they actually tell you all this stuff they had actually planned. Like the girl who had the black eyes, she was like, there was going to be a world plague and she was actually going to be the hero of the whole thing. But because of the writer strike, they couldn't do it. And all of the plans just went to crap. So they had to wrap it up in this stupid bow. And then basically, okay, we'll get back to you later. That's why, like, most TV shows have little small arcs just to make sure they don't have a hero's problem. Like, other shows just like, no, when we think there's a writer's strike, we got to bow this thing real good and hopefully get back to the next one. But it was when they actually killed Nathan officially, when dropping off in the arm, and it's like, it's still Siler. We know it's Siler. Like, why are we just not rolling with this? Like, because in the first season, they teased that Siler was going to become Nathan. Mm-hmm. And they could just do it. And then it's like Siler could just kind of be popping up like his conscious every now and then when you wanted him to do Siler thing, but Nathan would still be doing it. But they were like, nah, we're just going to do away with Nathan. And we're going to go with that. It was like, okay, good. I mean, and you luckily survived, what was it, the Carnival Fair?
Yeah. You will talk so bad about that. I never even want to go to it. 80s Kid is entering the chat with something that I definitely agree with.
What's he got?
80s Kid says the biggest mistake was bringing back Young Justice. The first 2 seasons were great. WB canceled the show. It was a Cartoon Network, right?
It was Cartoon Network.
And then brought it back. It wasn't the same, unfortunately. It was not. I mean, I think one of the problems was they had like 5 voice actors. So everyone was doubling up. And unlike some shows where it's like, oh, wow, I thought maybe. It was like, nope, I'm not changing my voice at all.
Kyrie Payton was everybody. If
No,
you
he
were
was every
black,
black
it was Kyrie Payton. It was
It
just
was
like, it was
everybody.
It's like the guy who was Red Arrow. He at least had he was playing like Wally and like some other people. But it was like, wait, I think that's him. But Kyrie was like, nah, man. You want me to throw my voice? Nope. Just keep roll the line. We don't have budget. We don't have time to reshoot this if you sound different. So yeah, just keep it rolling.
Yeah, and they were jumping out on the animation. They were using like still photos to tell stories. I'm like, what is this? Man, and it was just they had set everything up so perfectly in season 1 and 2. And it was like clearly you know where we're gonna go, what we want to see. And then they just really didn't deliver it. It was like, let's focus on another new group of heroes. It's like nobody cares about these. Nobody cares about this version of Forger. And the design for Forger was awful. I mean, I don't know why they decided, you know what we could do? We could do a better design than Jack Kirby. Spoiler, you cannot. And they were just doing all kinds of wild, just crazy storylines. It's like, why are you doing this? Focus on Young Justice, the characters we've invested 2 seasons in.
We are going to give you a whole new crop of characters, and they're going to be like the 3rd tier characters on the show about Young Justice. So like we're going to actually age them out, which is like, okay, but we cared about their story about what they're going to do, like, you know, Dark Side, you know, this whole thing. It's like, yeah, we're good. We'll give you the new Titans with Beast Boy, which are really the Teen Titans, but we kind of used half of them already. Yeah, it's like and again, I say this again, their biggest mistake was they tried to go more adult oriented on when they went to HBO, and it was just like, you guys just you guys went lazy instead of actually kind of trying to figure out how to make a better show. Yeah, I got lazy, and we got 6 voice actors, and all of you will be you. So definitely agree with you. Yeah.
All right, Chief, what's your next one?
Flash. So
now, this is a very interesting one because where are you going to go?
Where do you stop?
Hey, listen, it was funny because all the actors started jumping the ship. And it was like rats abandoning a sinking ship. Every season they would lose 1 or 2 people. Like, nah, I'm not coming back. And the last, I don't even know if Iris ever got out the mirror. That's when that's when I stopped watching Flash. She was trapped in a mirror. And
not like R. Kelly. She was trapped in the mirror.
Yeah, not the closet. She was trapped in the mirror. And I remember it was like 3 or 4 episodes in, and she was still in the mirror.
Chief, I don't know how to break it to you, but that lasted like a season and changed, didn't it?
Yeah, because they actually had to. It was like there was like kind of a mini, I think, writer's strike. They had to end that season early and then pick it up the end of the next season.
Bro,
it was not. It was like a
what they did with
continuation, like to be continued.
The mirror episode just lasted way too long for me, and I remember. And Flash always had a habit of doing that. Like they put some simpleton character, simpleton criminal in it, and then the criminal would go 25 episodes. And I'm like, yo,
you know, the season only went 23 episodes. It felt like 20.
Like, this guy, you should have captured this guy 2 episodes in. And the mirror thing was, I was like, yo, I turned it on and I was like, is she still in that? She's still in that mirror? And that was it for me. I turned that thing off and I never went back to Flash. I don't, like, as far as I'm concerned, she's still in that mirror. I don't know if she's gotten out. I never watched another episode of Flash.
Was that before? Was that after the Cicada season?
Yeah, it was definitely after Cicada.
Gosh, you said, man, good luck, man. You made a wise choice.
Because he didn't watch Godspeed. He missed Godspeed.
Bro.
He missed whatever the heck his last season.
He missed Speed Force lightsabers. That was the literal point. I was like, I'm done. That was I mean, honestly, Chief, you should go on YouTube and literally watch just a clip of that mess. You'd be like, And y'all watch more of the show after this. It's like, y'all idiots.
Hey man, y'all are glutton for punishment. Y'all be like, oh, it's starting to really be crappy. Let's go ahead and watch it. I can see both of y'all sitting down on your couch.
The problem with Flash was I liked it, and I was reviewing. I was determined I'm going to review every episode of The Flash, and I did. Felt a little dirty near the end of it, but I was like, mission accomplished. I couldn't with some of these shows, but Flash, I was like, I'm sticking with this. This is before every network had a superhero show, and I'm just going to rock every episode of Flash. I'm not quite sure when it went off the rails, but I know it's starting to get a little squeaky when they fought the Thinker. And the Thinker was a villain who was really confident until he wasn't. And he absorbed all the powers of everybody. He was really confident. And for whatever reason, he didn't decide to safeguard the back of his chair, which Flash just unplugged, and that stopped everything.
That was the dude sitting in the chair, right?
Yeah. That was when I was like, that wasn't a good way to wrap up that storyline.
You know, the funny thing is they had done a good job.
They were doing, huh?
I said, and it was funny. They did like a good job of like putting like this retcon that he's always been around kind of deal. And it was like, okay, I kind of see this. Like, oh, he was trying to get his power during the particle accelerator. Okay. And then it's like, so you've had this, basically been planning on this for 3 to 4 years, and you didn't get out of your chair.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. And then they just kept going with dumb storyline after dumb storyline. They kind of started fixing things with Crisis where they had a focus, and it just went, they blew up the rails. And just every storyline for the Mirrorverse was dumb. Everything they did was stupid. They kept, in case of emergency, break glass, call up Reverse Flash. I was like, you can't keep bringing him out every time. And they were like, this time he's really dead. Until now.
How many problems was it? Wells?
Yeah.
They would switch between the two Reverse Flashes.
He was good. He was bad. I'm like, there's like, you did like 50 different parts.
You know, the problem with the show was when Cisco and Wells were like, all right, we're really done. Cisco didn't even come back for this series for now. I was like,
I heard Joe left, right?
No, like Joe had a deal on NBC, which I don't know what the status with that is now because it's strike. And he was like, I'm only going to be on 9 of these episodes. And they were using the worst episodes to put him in, where there were other things where it made way more sense for him to show up. Like when they did a surprise baby shower for Iverson Berry, he wasn't there. It's like, come on, this dude would be here. I think maybe that was my official breaking point where he convinced Cecile we should move out of Central City. And she was like, that's a great idea, Joe. And then he was like, you're a hero. Our daughter needs to see you be a hero. Then the next episode, by the way, I've got this house and I'm taking our daughter with us. So yeah, you can visit us on the weekends. I was like, there's no way that's flying at all. And
the idea where these people can actually go here to there in warp speed
or Flash.
Cisco literally has a little device that lets you go wherever you want.
And Iris was his daughter, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had a newborn, and his daughter's in their 30s. Yeah. All right. And I'm done.
Robert De Niro's popping out, kids.
Robert De Niro is a horny toad. That's the problem with Robert De Niro. You know what I mean? He's a wild dude. We're talking about Joe, though.
Joe caught Cecile in her office one night and was like, hey, girl, I got some briefs I need you to work over with me. All right, Chief, what is your next choice?
I just gave my choice. Who's Flash?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jace,
you.
What's yours?
Oh, okay. I'm going to go with my next one is Titans. After that mess of a season that they didn't learn anybody else's lesson, that you don't drag a, let's say, C to B tier villain for 13 episodes. And when they decided to have, after they had done Terminator very well for their version, and the fact that they decided just like, you know who would be a great villain who could really stop all of these Titans? Scarecrow. And Scarecrow is the best thing ever. And then he's going to have, and then we're going to use Scarecrow to create Red Hood. And Red Hood's going to suck. And we're going to kill off Hank too. Yeah. And Hawk has never looked back. The rest of us, for all of us who didn't jump off at that point, we're like, yeah, we should have made them. When you jump, we should have known it was time to leave because
it was smart. Hey, Afton Child, have you watched Titans season 2? because the Deathstroke in there was really, really good. Like, awesome. They did a great job with his character and did right if you like Deathstroke. So check him out. I agree with you. The one on Arrow's great. But yeah, the Titans Deathstroke's good too. And since you mentioned it, huh?
I was gonna say the Titans Deathstroke was like it was almost like it. I can't even say like grounded. It was like both of them were very grounded. It was like the Titans one was very just really calculating dude, and it was like, oh, he really is kind of master stroke playing these guys.
Master stroke.
Yeah,
Deathstroke, the master stroke.
Yeah, but yeah, I those are two really good portrayals. Like, hey, even the Titans animated was good. So that's one character they don't screw up too much.
Hey, Zack Snyder had a good idea for Deathstroke too. I'm sorry, I don't want to get Chief riled up again. All right, so my choice, since Afton Child brought it up, I'm gonna go with Arrow. I know when it went off the rails, but Arrow's a special case because it went off the rails twice. First was when the writers are like, you know who we love the most? Felicity. And we're really gonna prop her character up for no reason. Like, she was great in the first 2.5 seasons, where it was like she was the plucky computer gal in the chair, like, Ned's the dude in the chair. Felicity was rocking everything from the technical side, and it made sense for Arrow because he didn't have any powers to have a computer whiz giving him instructions, telling him stuff he's not able to see in the field. But then they're like, oh, Felicity and Green Arrow have this amazing chemistry. Let's ignore Laurel and put her here. So they started doing some real shady stuff. Like, they killed off one love interest, like, not loving that. And then they kind of put the other love interest to the back burner, eventually killed her off. So it was really like, y'all need to kill everybody for Felicity to be the one for him. She's the one, she's an Uso. But I hated that so much. And then when Ra's al Ghul had everybody captured after he killed Oliver, and I was like, yeah, I got your family and friends, Oliver, what you gonna do? Felicity jumps up in his face like, hey, and another thing, Mr. Ra's al Ghul. I was like, what in the world is happening? Ra's, we'd already seen kill the main character, didn't say a word. He's just getting this browbeating from this tech genius and not doing anything. That was the point where I realized this show was really about to turn to the Felicity show, because if she was a random character, she'd have been killed. Talking to Ra's al Ghul, like one of his goons would have been like, ninja slice sword right through the heart, and that would have been the end of said character.
It would have been an example.
Yeah,
like everybody else, like, I don't take all this mess. I mean, supposedly, like, Ra's al Ghul at this point is immortal, so yeah, I don't think he just got a progressive streak.
No, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But then Arrow rebounded and had an amazing season 5. So good. Prometheus was awesome. One of easily the best top 10, top 5 Arrowverse entirety villains. Like, awesome character. Played by a great actor who I won't reveal in case you haven't seen it. And Prometheus set everything up for a perfect clearing the deck, because the cast had gotten too bloated, and it was like, this is the perfect way to end Prometheus on a high note, have him leave some bodies on the floor, or the island in this case. And then season 6 comes and they go, man, forget all that. He didn't do anything to anybody except for this character we needed to write off anyway. And that's when I was like, this show is messing up. And it just kept bumbling and stumbling. They did their own little Civil War thing that was okay, but they kept going down this path of really poor decisions, focusing even more on Felicity. This was after the stand-up out of the chair.
Yeah, this is after
that. Maybe that was, if I had to define.
Remember, like, this was like, because at this point, Ray's given her his company for no reason, and the guy who cures paralysis also just randomly gives her his company because reasons. It was like, oh, she's a genius. Like, this dude literally made something that changes the world, and he's not considered like he should be getting a Nobel Prize, and y'all just, I'm done with that. Thanks. Here you go, Felicity.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. Again, it was funny. I'm a co-signer because it was that season 6 premiere when you didn't see bodies. It was like half the cast should be dead, right?
Yeah, like if they had done that, the show would have been maybe it'd still be going today. But it was just like this was the worst possible decision. And because y'all don't want to have any consequences, I mean they had a few things, like one character was in a coma, another guy had some nerves, some shakes, but it was like this was a perfect opportunity. And they killed one character just to make another thing that got so much worse for the entirety of the show, the series happened. So anyway, Arrow went off the rails with season 6. Chief, now officially, what's up to you?
You know, I'm gonna say it, and I know that probably some of you would have said it. TWD, The Walking Dead.
Okay, what you got?
I don't even know how it ended. I don't know.
See, that's the problem. You gave up on the show.
Listen, man. The last episode, one of the last episodes I remember seeing was when Negan went and killed the Whisperer girl.
Oh, okay.
And you know, that was a good episode. Don't get me wrong. And The Walking Dead would give you 8 just really crappy episodes, and then just bam, hit you off with something hype, and you'd be like, oh, and then next week it would be like, and then you know what I mean? It's almost like that first hit of the yay, and then you're chasing that forever. You know what I mean? And Walking Dead had to give you a good hit, and you're like, and then you could never get that same thing, man. And then 10 episodes later, they give you another little hit. It was killing me, man. And I just couldn't take it anymore, man. I had my last fill of the Negan saga with the Maggie came back for whatever reason. Her TV show failed.
TV show ended.
Yeah, TV show failed, and now Maggie.
Whiskey Coyote.
Yeah, which was like if you ever saw any of the episodes, you knew that was gonna fail. Like it wasn't even realistic in any way. You try to support it, but then you were like, this is slapstick. It's comedy. It's not supposed to be.
I don't trust any network shows at this point. Like, nope.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, man, I always side-eyed The Walking Dead after they killed Carl. And I was, you know what I mean? I couldn't understand that death. And then, like I said, it just got to the point, man, where the episodes was garbage. And the good characters they killed off, and they kept the old characters that didn't mean anything. It's just, I don't know.
All right.
So season 10, was it season 10 or 11? How many seasons was it?
No.
You don't know. You know why you don't know?
Honestly, that's
No.
I think it's more than 10.
Did you
Maybe
watch
it's 11.
10?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I watched every episode, but very much when Rick left, it was like one of those, like they came back with some episodes like, yo, this would have been better with Rick. Like it was very much like, gosh, y'all wasted so much time on him,
right?
His saviors. It's like the Whisper, like he could have led the charge against the Whisperers, and it would have been really cool. But again, or you could have, like you said, when they could have phased out Rick to make Carl the dude, or they could have had him and Judith like kind of like learning how to actually do it. Like you have like Daryl and Carol as kind of the older mentor.
Okay, hold on, because we gotta address this. 80s kids never watched The Walking Dead. All right, The Walking Dead, despite what she said, was a really good show, and at its peak, it was really great. Like they were just killing it. I think the big problem when they introduced Negan, that was like maybe it was like either 1A or 1B of the high peak of the show, where it was like, wow, this is insane. But to make Negan effective, they had to really tear down the characters, and they opted to do that by dragging out to really drive home the fact that, hey, these guys are really bad news for our heroes. So it was week after week after week of watching them get beat down emotionally, physically. It was like, okay, we get it. And they stretched it out. Was it 5-7 episodes? It was too long.
7.
And then they started fighting back, and that was good. It was like, thank you. So if you watch it, which I recommend you do, I would just recommend fast forward. I'll try to go through the episodes, skip through most of the build up to the Savior War because it doesn't really mean anything. When they fight, it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah,
There's even a lot of stupid decisions coming up they made for like they would just do dumb stuff. And let me ask you this: in the upcoming episodes, was there anybody still alive from Alexandria?
Yes.
You recognize people from the old Alexandria?
The thing is, the spinoff that they just put out, Dead City, was really good. And it was so good that when it started, when they announced it, I was like, do you really need to do this? I don't know.
New York?
Huh? Yeah, it was really good.
So New York one is good.
Really good. It's 6 episodes. So if you want to check it out, you don't have to spend a long time investing in it.
And it's on
solid. They did zombies we hadn't seen before. Characters did things that were like, I don't know if this makes sense. But then it was like the writers were like, no, we got you. They explained what seemed like plot holes where it's like, come on. It was like, oh, okay. Y'all had a plan. They pulled it off. Really great cliffhanger. And I'm sitting here like, oh, wow. I can't believe I'm looking forward to another season of this. Because I was like, all right, I feel like they can wrap all this up in the season finale. But when they didn't, I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm ready for season 2.
But I turned it off, and I haven't watched it since they were in the wrestling ring where the octagon was, and all the walkers were pouring in from different sides.
Keep watching, Chief. It makes sense.
Look, bro, it was like 1,000 walkers, and they in that joint with a bat. And I was like,
why didn't they get in there sooner? Because, like, if they can't get in, if you could just pick away at them, that's what I would always do in a fight against walkers. And they finally did it. It was like they lost like 10 people, but they went in there.
Oh, they finally did it because I'm looking at it. I'm like, what kind of idiots looking at the octagon?
Isn't that what they did at the prison? They literally like put them up there, take them out, keep them going.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maggie may not have been in her right mind at that point. She might have been sick or whatever. But it was good. And definitely stick with it, Chief, because it holds through. And Afton Child, I like Negan in the show. I like the actor they chose for him. Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's great. He's really good in this thing too. So yeah. And Afton Child said, I'm waiting for Daryl's show. I like Norman Reedus. I'm curious. The last trailer they showed of it made me feel a little bit more excited about it than the first ones, where it's just Daryl walking around in the woods. This one seemed like it was okay. We've got some new cast members, so maybe it'll be good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that one.
You know, him. I think the funny thing is like the idea of Daryl just doing a show is a lot better than Daryl and Carol, because it was like,
there's no Carol.
No,
like, she didn't want to do they were going to do it in Europe, and she didn't want to go over there to shoot it. So it was all right. Well, we'll just got to do it with him then.
Yeah, because it's like you could having 2 of them in bubble wrap. Because we saw like there was one season at the Walking Dead where it was like, no, one of you guys should be dying. Nope. It's like, hey, we've already announced it's spinoff, so
yeah.
Did they ever?
I think it was the final season. Where they announced. What'd you say?
Did the 2 of them ever hook up?
No.
I'm glad I never watched it. I'm glad.
I'm surprised that's what
all that tension for like 7 seasons and nothing.
There's no tension. He had a different love interest. You just got to keep watching. Jace, I think it's your turn now.
Okay.
And I think 80s did my Young Justice. I was gonna say the Phantom season was trash. So I'm gonna go with a little different one. My next one would be Family Guy. Like Family Guy,
see Chief's eyes perk up like,
yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
So when Family Guy first came on and like that little micro season, it was so funny. I mean, I was laughing my tail off. And then they came back with the next part. It was like, oh, this is really good. This is really funny. And I think I probably got like 5 seasons of Blu-ray. I mean, probably at that point, I got 5 seasons of DVD. And then I watched them.
Yeah, Grandpa.
And then I watched them. And then I like kind of, because I tend to watch episodes back to back. I'm like, huh. So I pretty much know exactly what's going to happen episode by episode by episode. And it was like so like, this is so redundant. Every episode, Peter's going to say something stupid. Lois is going to, Brian and Stewie kind of talk around everybody because they're the smartest people in the world. And it's not Pinky in the Brain, and we got to once again have Peter come back and ha ha ha. It's very much like probably a very like 60s throwback with animation, but Peter's such a just giant butt. You're like, go away. Like, and it's funny. I watched like one episode. I was over at my cousin's and I watched an episode. I'm like, they do a lot more now. It's very much an adult show that is animated, but it's like, this still is not funny. Like, it's the exact same formula, but it still isn't funny. So after it was like probably like season 3, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to catch this week to week. Y'all have this one.
80s Kid says the biggest show that went off the rails was SpongeBob SquarePants. And it says Avengers Assemble had good potential, but it was ruined in the first season. You know, I keep trying to watch Avengers Assemble, and it's not low key. It is high, the highest of high keys, like Mariah in her prime, high key hatred of Avengers Assemble, because it's not seasons 3, 4, 5 of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which was awesome. And I felt like, why are you switching from something that was great to something that's and it just never hit the same part. And I felt like they were just, hey, let's do the movie version even more. So they really tripled down on Robert Downey Jr. as their animated Iron Man, ironically played by Adrian Pasdar, who was Nathan in Heroes. But it was just like, why are you doing this show? Just do Earth's Mightiest Heroes again.
He was the voice on Earth's Mightiest Hero. Why did they bring him back for the new one?
I don't know. I hate it. I can't watch Avengers Assemble because I just get mad. Like, I watched a couple episodes the other day, and because I keep picking, like, all right, maybe this episode is going to be good. And they're fighting Thanos, and Thanos is, I'm going to destroy you. I'm like, no. It's like every character on Earth's Mightiest Heroes is exactly how they're portrayed in the comic book. That's what makes it so good. This show is just, can't stand it. But you're right. Right from the first season, it was terrible and so bad. All right, I've shown remarkable restraint. So now it's time for one of my biggies. All right, I'm trying to figure out which way to go with this. Let's just say from the moment where J.J. Abrams said, yeah, that movie doesn't count, I'm scrapping everything. Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, y'all, which makes zero sense. Palpatine never was like Ming the Merciless, had a harem full of women like you. He wasn't doing that. He was chilling with his dudes in the red robes, and maybe he'd go catch an opera. He didn't have a side piece chilling next to him. He was on his own. We never saw him with any kind of interaction with anybody. Now we're going to retcon the mess and go, oh, yeah, by the way, he had a family. He was going home after corrupting the Senate and going, hey, kid, how was soccer today? Oh, Dad, it was amazing. Great. You watch yourself, you little scamp. That was awful. Then they're just like, you know what? Everything that happened in this previous film, I'm just going to throw out. Rey really is somebody. She's so important. She's the most important person. And yeah, we're going to have to work around this thing because we've already killed off Luke and Han. Let's complete the trilogy. And oh yeah, we're going to have Finn just yell Rey the whole movie. And we're not going to explain why he's yelling at her. Is he falling in love? No. I just think I have force abilities like you.
No. I won't say that in the movie because we can't be bothered with actually talking about it. like that.
With you, Apple Child, hate. Well, see, my hate of Disney Star Wars. I mean, it was like every movie I was like getting this rush of emotions of like, why are they doing this? Why introduce Han Solo with these guys and make it like, oh man, he's great. You know, like for most of Force Awakens, it's fine. There's some stuff I'm like, okay. Then when they kill off Han, and then Rey gets this big hug from Leia, like, oh, sweetie. That was terrible. I mean, it's such a terrible decision. Like, who are you, by the way? I don't know you. Chewie, are you okay?
It honestly, it was like one of those, like, it was almost like you're hugging her because that was secretly like, I mean, because I was one of them like, oh, serious. It's really like Ben is actually their son, but Rey is also their daughter. Like, it's like basically like that they actually squirreled away because they didn't want her to get corrupted by Kylo or something. Like, I'm like, oh, that's why she hugged her. Like, right? Nah, she's actually Palpatine's daughter. What the
Granddaughter.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, because he's
Palpatine's
got time to
legacy
be.
was
It's like,
gone.
and then adding, the dude who was rule of two, he was literally on the low for 40 years.
Right.
I'm back. This ain't Return of the Mac, dude. What are you doing? Like, I got some Death Stars out here. I'm just popping them out.
Speaking of popping out, all the
just
ships in the whole galaxy. Hey, we've been waiting for somebody to get us riled up to go fight Palpatine in this ghost dimension. Let's go, guys. So much trash. I don't think I hated a movie more than Rise of Skywalker.
Why did the dude literally wait to actually start lifting his ships before he announces himself? Like, you got literally like mobile Death Stars. Why not just lift them up? Like, ugh.
It's called The Rise of Skywalker, not The Rise of Palpatine. So feeling you with the eye roll, A's kid. Why not replace Han with Jedi Ghost Anakin? Makes sense. Ben Solo Skywalker should have been the one to destroy Palpatine. It wouldn't retcon a thing, dude. Ugh, I can't stand those. Afton Child says, we don't talk about episode 7, 8, or 9. We don't even talk about these in Star Wars. I don't like it. I prefer Legend because it has Darth Revan. He's his favorite character of all time in Star Wars. Listen, I feel like if it weren't for this little show called The Mandalorian, I would be so out on Star Wars. But because they had Mandalorian, they put out Rogue One, Solo, and got some more Clone Wars.
You can't say Bad Batch because Bad Batch was bait and switch.
I'm not going to complain about Disney Star Wars outside of that sequel trilogy, which I just can't.
I mean, I'm still trying to figure out, like, they're coming up with a Rey movie that she's going to be struggling to put the Jedi Order. You mean the movie you should have put as episode 7 and anything. And then you're going to have Finn, because basically, like, what's the man? What's John
Boyega.
He's basically like, yeah, I'd be open to going back Star Wars. It's basically saying I've already signed a contract. It's like, so you basically going to say, hey, the next guy who writes, I get more lines than Rey, right? Like we could have actually had me actually hanging out with Rose Tico, but nah, we don't want to have you with a love interest because that would just be weird. It's like, I mean, we stole you on a lightsaber, but yeah, we're not going to give you a lightsaber. That was you holding it for Rey because Rey's ish. Like, it was just like, come on, man. Ugh.
And why was Palpatine in such a bad spot? Like,
he was dead. Like, that's what he got thrown down. I mean, it's like they were. I mean, like, and this is the thing. It's like you try and watch The Mandalorian, and then you watch Bad Batch.
Putting out the duct tape.
It just makes sense, but it's like, hey guys, like, see what they were really trying to do is like they were trying to put Anakin's DNA onto Palpatine, and then he was going to put Luke's DNA on it, and then it's going to make all this amount of sense. Like,
make it stop.
We didn't need that. There is nobody in the galaxy at this point who could have stopped him. It's literally like Luke is pieced out. All you needed was a clone. It was like, I mean, like, and this is why, like, 80s, I mean, I'm after. It's like when they actually brought, what was it, the Dark Horse comic, where actually brought back Palpatine again and had Luke Skywalker be his apprentice. Like, why did you not make this a?
They could have done that. They could have done Heir to the Empire.
Heir to the Empire, they're at least trying to do, because then they're like, all right, guys, we're going to try and make this one happen, because these idiots in Disney have never actually read a book, so they don't even know what I'm doing. I've been plotting on for the last 10 years.
They'll never know because they never read it. Places Disney
place, and he was just like, I'm like, why is he living there? Like, nobody's even searching for you, Palpatine. You could have gone somewhere that was comfortable.
You could have literally been back in where you were training Dooku.
Yeah,
nobody's
tripping. Live in a boat in the middle of a wavy ocean when you're not even being searched for.
Which is dumb. Which makes it even dumber that the opening scroll says Palpatine's alive. He's been announcing it via. He's been putting out a text alert. Hey y'all, by the way, it's Palpatine. I'm coming back. Made zero sense.
But I'm not actually back yet. I'm just trying to get y'all ready for the sequel.
Updating his Facebook status.
Yeah, right. I'm back.
I'm back.
It's complicated. Blake says Disney is just done. They're purposely running it into the ground. In 5 years, we'll all be like, remember Disney? Oh yeah, that company. I will say at least Disney gave me Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker having a triumphant moment not tossing his lightsaber and trying to kill his nephew for reasons. Because don't look up to your heroes. Trash.
That whole thing.
It's like Disney. Honestly, the funny thing is Disney has to really get these Star Wars movies right. Because it's like they're actually hitting a bad spiral, kind of like if Marvel starts taking too much money and Disney and Star Wars takes too much money, they're gonna really be like, we got to fire everybody. So I hope it doesn't come to that.
Afton Child says Disney likes to ruin stuff. Back to ruin Star Wars and Marvel. Chief, what's your next one?
We're gonna move away from the Disney stuff. We're gonna go Blacklist.
Where do you drop off on Blacklist? I'm like,
listen, man, I don't know what happened, man. I was
I don't
watching
either.
it, and then for whatever reason, it just got. I just felt like I was watching the same episode every week, in a sense. And then the dragging out is she the daughter? Is she not the daughter? Red, the nick of time saving. It was almost like watching MacGyver in a way, man. It was just he would just get out of stuff, and you'd be like, how did you? And I just got tired.
Did it with this little pinky nail.
Yeah,
and then the last episode that I watched, I remember the older woman that he has fixed stuff for him.
Mm-hmm.
She let somebody go or something, and then he started to punish her for it.
Yeah,
and I was like, you let people go for less. This is supposed to be your people's, and it was over. And I never watched it again. I never watched another episode. I heard they got a whole new crew now.
Well, I mean, because they at one point, I think they killed Dimby, and I'm saving anybody from this point. It's like when they actually, it was like for me, it was like,
spoil you gonna save.
Yeah, okay. Like, because
what is Dimby?
Watch, huh?
That's the
black dude who was basically, actually helped Red do everything.
Oh, his man.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah. Like, it was like when they did that Russia season, it was like, guys, like, what are you going with? Like, I've read what's going on in the show, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not even Netflix. I'm not that bored. Y'all can have that. God bless them.
All right, bro. Well, what's yours?
All right,
what's your next one?
My next one is season 2 of Dark Angel. Like, because that show
just have 2 seasons.
Yeah. Because after that second season, after the end of that first season, you're like, wow, that really, that whole bringing the kids back and training the kids to be like these ruthless killers. Like, this is really going good. And then they got like hybrid mutants. It's like, what? What do you got? Like, we didn't even really wrap this whole story of the kids coming back to take on the big boss who made them all in these child prodigy killers. Like, yeah, well, that's over. And what's his name's gone? Michael Weatherly's gone because I don't know. And it was like, and Max was also still super annoying. So it was like, yeah, I'm gonna wrap my hands on this one. And I think that's when everybody else jumped off too. Like, yeah, that was doing because Michael Weatherly was the cool guy in the chair. Oh, it is where most of us got introduced to Jessica Alba. Like, that was like that. Her and Michael Weatherly were really cool in that. But at that point, there was a point where you watch that second season. It's just like, I'm sorry. If you watch the first episode of the second season and then you see the previews for next episode, you're like, yeah, I'm not touching that. Good bless. So have fun with that
one. Okay. Yeah, I never watched a episode.
It was like on Fox. It was probably after. It was, I don't know. It was like on another day. But it was like 24. No, it was actually. I think it might have been on the show before 24. A lot of times.
I never watched 24.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. It was 2000 to 2002.
Yeah. I can't say you missed it. So.
You're really doing a terrible job of selling it.
Oh, I actually have like on my shelf. I actually have the first season. I have never seen like a discounted price of season 2 that actually makes me want to like, you know what? I really should check out season 2.
That's Dark Angel. This is Jessica Alba on the show.
Who it is. We're all aware who it is.
There's nothing else to be said.
It's like,
What else can you say? All right, so I'm going to continue with my go hard back to properties. Secret Invasion has to be my rails blown off of the MCU. I have no excitement, no enthusiasm, no whatever for MCU projects going forward because they basically told us everything with Nick Fury is a lie. They contradicted themselves in their own show. Yeah, no, man, it took until after Thanos wiped everybody out before these Skrulls went rogue. Except for that time we nabbed Rhodey during Civil War because why not? That'd be fun. And then, oh yeah, well, Fury actually told us to do that. Why? That didn't make any sense either. That's stupid. I'm going to act like that didn't happen the whole show because Marvel is going to do the same thing. So apparently, there's not going to be any mention of Secret Invasion in the Marvels the next time we see Nick Fury. So I'm going to just act like everything that I've seen on Disney Plus just really doesn't matter or count because they don't count and they don't care about it. I gave Thor the Dark World a bit of a pass because they didn't kill Thor off, which was the only thing that I liked about the movie. And the post-credit appearance,
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Oh, God.
I was just like, okay, you didn't do the one thing that I thought you were going to do because, hey, we got a new Thor. Let's kill the old one. They didn't. And I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad, but it was terrible and awful. Eternals bored me. It wasn't bad. It was just boring. And they kept making these dumb mistakes and like questionable calls. Yeah, let's not recast Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, but we really need to recast Thunderbolt Ross after William Hurt died. Okay, yeah, all right. Well, that's a plan too, I suppose. So they've botched too many things, and Secret Invasion was the culmination. They were like, let's give Gaia, the character we have not developed this entire 5 episodes leading up to this season finale, all the powers of characters whose DNA she would never have. Like Thanos.
She's got her
to dust.
She has Captain Marvel's DNA.
No, she didn't need anybody else. You're right.
Done.
Mason, what's going on? Yeah, man, it was terrible. And that was why I realized I don't need to get frustrated. I'll keep reviewing this stuff because whatever, but I can't stay invested. You're going down a path I can't follow, as Pat may once say. So, yeah. Chief, what about you? You got another one?
I just had one too. It's gonna sound crazy to y'all because I know y'all all saw it, and I couldn't get through Loki. I was never able to get through Loki. It just was too much going on, bro. It like me. I'm a CeeLo guy. 3 dice, 4, 5, 6. You win it all. 1, 2, 3 out.
When you said CeeLo guy, I thought you were saying, does that make me crazy?
No. CeeLo. What I'm not though, craps. Because I don't play craps because it's too much going on. It's a lot of side betting. It's too much going on for me. And that's what Loki was like. I was trying to keep up, trying to watch it. It lost me somewhere in there. I was lost in the sauce. And I remember just watching like with my eyes glazed over and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember him and the girl, I don't even know who the girl was. They went to a bar.
Sylvie.
And I remember
you tapped out early.
I clicked it off and that was it, bro. And I never went back to Loki.
You left early. You leave shows a bit early. You leave them a little bit too early.
Maybe so, man, but I don't feel bad about
season 3.
I don't feel bad about it. I'm sorry.
Anthony Rogers, what's going on? Secret Invasion was bad. Thor: Love and Thunder was bad because Gore should have been an irredeemable villain. He was straight up evil in the comics. You're so right, because I don't know what Marvel's doing, but they keep doing it. I think I had a dream, which was just shows you my frustration with the MCU of how every villain, they have to try to soften up the rough edges. He's not that bad. See what really happened? He was praying, his daughter died. So this is why he's going off and killing everybody, guys. It's okay. It's not okay. Namor's really not a bad guy. You know, he's wiping out thousands of Wakandans. He killed the queen. He's not a bad dude. He's just misunderstood because they killed his mama. Get it? I mean, there's so many characters throughout this thing where it's like, hey, Elena, she just really was upset at Natasha. She's not a bad guy. She maybe tried to kill Clint, but she just thought he killed her. Okay. I feel like there's so many cases in phase 4. Like, geez, the Flag Smashers. Well, they're just really upset because they lost their homes when people returned from the blip. Okay. But the problem is you can't keep giving villains motives, realistic, sympathetic motives for being bad guys. And I think they kind of started that with Killmonger, where it's like, well, yeah, I see why he's got a point. And Loki did kind of get stolen from his family. Yeah, okay. And then they even tried to do it a little bit with Thanos. It's like, this dude is committing genocide.
Thanos was an environmentalist. It's like
terrorist.
He's a conservationist. Like, no, he's literally like, I've decided I'm wiping out half the freaking universe. I think we can accept that, right? No, like Marvel, it's like, and I don't know much about Gore, but it's literally like I'm going around killing gods.
Gore is killing people, like Anthony said. He has zero redemption. He is a bad guy. All around.
There's, I mean, the thing is, you can do, like, the better thing is you have to make a bad guy think he's right, but everybody else knows he's wrong. In his mind, he's right. His motives are all justified, but it's like when you actually, it's like the accountability drain. It's like, no, you're wrong. Like, you read this and it's wrong. Like, if your daughter dies because you were actually praying to gods that actually exist and they just didn't give a crap, yeah, you could just say he was praying to gods he didn't know, but now he actually knows they're there and he still doesn't give. Well, there's your reason. Like, okay, well, he's just a child. Like, yeah, okay, give him something. Like, if he's going around killing, if you have him pulling an Anakin in the Jedi Temple, okay, this dude is irredeemable. That's what we like. Yeah, like that's what you needed. Like, not to get beat by Kid Avenger or Team whatever Asgard. Like, that was
there were bad decisions throughout that movie, and they stuck with Anakin being irredeemable in the show with the shirt you're rocking. Obi-Wan Kenobi, it was like, oh shoot, Anakin is a really bad dude. He's just killing people just to get to Obi-Wan. And they gave him a reason to find redemption through Luke, which completed the Star Wars movie saga. Anyway, so yeah, I'm with you, Anthony, 100%. They got to stop making villains sympathetic, where it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. James Green's in the building. What's up, man?
What's up, James?
Captain Child says, after watching Thor: Love and Thunder, really hate the guys in the MCU. So do the writers.
Yeah, I mean, like, is anybody excited to see Hercules?
I mean, Hercules is a great character. I don't know. At this rate, I don't think they're going to do right by him. So,
you talking about this supposed to be a Hercules movie?
He was at the end of Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
Listen,
think about they kind of screwed. Like, Adam Warlock was not Adam Warlock. Like,
yeah, that guy, that Love and Thunder, man. I don't even remember what happened at the end of that show. That train went bad quickly.
It ended.
It went bad quickly, man. It did.
You talking about Russell Crowe's Mario impression? Hey, it's me, Mario.
He was he
was Zeus.
Yeah, and yeah. That was all bad, man. That was all bad.
That movie was irredeemable.
The last Hercules movie I watched was The Rock. That was all right.
I will say, I guess this is gonna be my last one. I was really concerned that Hobbs and Shaw was gonna be my breaking point for Fast and the Furious. Now, I've signed up for a heavy load of ridiculousness with this franchise. I admit it. I'm like, who cares? It's fun, it's awesome. But Hobbs and Shaw was really, really pushing me. I'm like, come on.
The helicopter incident.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was like, how you dropping down without breaking all the bones? And it's just, the whole, hey, let's go in when it's nighttime. Oh, wait, it's morning in 10 minutes. We got 30 minutes, and the time sphere spectrum is just jumping all over. It's like they had the time stone in that joint where it's like, Jerome. It was.
Bro, the dude had a full cast on. Daddy's got to go to work.
Hey, listen,
That was awesome.
I tell you, I feel like the problem with Hobbs and Shaw, they were doing ridiculous stuff, but treating it serious. As opposed to all the other ones where it's like this. We know it's stupid and crazy. You do too. This joint, they're like, this is the most serious thing ever.
When that, like, it was an elevator scene that was ridiculous, right?
Everything in Hobbs and Shaw was ridiculous.
But my man had the helicopter. He was like, oh. I was like,
yeah, you're no
I'm
Steve
so glad
Rogers.
they put that at the end. Because if they had put that at the beginning, Hobbs and Shaw. Hey,
But what I love about Hobbs and Shaw, you can ignore it. It means absolutely nothing to the whole
you know what I
story.
mean? Let me ask you this.
Yo,
While we're talking about these and Hobbs and Shaw and the ridiculousness in this, what movie were you watching that you ever just got up and walked out of? It was so bad.
McHale's Navy.
The Flintstones. The Holly Berry joint. I got up and I walked out of that joint.
Now, if you ask me which one I wanted to walk out on, but because I was like, we gotta go see this, and I couldn't be the one to lead the charge. It was Batman and Robin. I was like, this movie is so bad. We were at a late screen in the Greenbelt Plaza, and I was like, gosh, this movie's so bad. It was like right away bad. It didn't take a while to get going to be bad. It stunk as soon as we went to the theater. It was like, what is that smell? Oh, they're loading Batman and Robin up on the projector. And it was about to get worse.
It was pretty bad.
What you got,
Everybody
Jason?
freeze.
We could make him Bane. He's literally from Austria. We could make him Bane. No, it must be Mr. Free. Like, oh, do you actually understand these characters you're casting? Like,
No. No, they do not.
no.
All right. What's your choice, Jace?
Uh,
To Chief's question.
I've never actually walked out on a movie.
You never wanted to walk out?
No. The one I wanted to watch out was it Matrix Revolution? The exact point I actually stopped watching the movie when I watch it now is literally like, because I had to watch it once and then it's like, oh, that was complete garbage. Okay.
That was part 3?
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
the rainbow.
and-
Hey, Chief, I got one more. And Jace was there with me.
And
That's
Javon
the last
literally is
thing.
like telling me, like, no, we're done. I'm like, hey, what? He's like, no, come on. Like, just get to the end. This is garbage. I'm like, no. I'm like,
And what is
oh,
this?
yeah, that's yeah, we should have left. Yeah.
Matrix. Mine is X-Men The Last Stand, another one.
Oh,
When they decided, let's kill Cyclops. Jace can attest to this. We were at the back row of the theater, and I sat up out of my chair. I was like, I just sit back in
Not
my
like
chair
this.
the rest
Not
of the
like
movie. I hate
Yeah,
that.
I refuse to believe this.
But the way it was done, I was like, this is trash.
Oh
Man,
man,
that was literally like, I'm going to Superman. Like, that was literally like, oh, you're going to Superman? Yeah, I'm going to Superman. Oh, we got you. But you're gonna fill your contract. Yeah, I will. Okay, we got you now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kill
man.
you all.
There's been some real bad movies, man.
All right, so I think we've gone through a huge amount of movies that have just or franchises that made us go off the rails. Do y'all have any more before I move on to the next thing?
I got Doom Patrol.
And when did Doom Patrol lose you?
After they farted out a world.
I knew you were. I knew that was gonna be what you were gonna say.
That's the exact, and that might have been the first episode. But yeah, I think that was when I'm like, yeah, this is too stupid for me. And I watched the rest of it. I'm like, yeah, this is really too stupid for me. And then it's like, then they had like some, I don't even know what happened. And I think it was like, I really stopped watching after the second season, where it was like, hey, can we have more? You know, it's like instead of like Christopher Walken went, hey, can we have more cowbell? They decide, hey, can we have more Jane? It was like, guys, like, I don't even know Jane. I mean, like, y'all got Miss Negative is actually, she's got a cooler story. Nah, we got Jane. Okay, fine. Like,
They did skew a little Jane heavy.
a lot Jane heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You trying to remember Doom Patrol? It's on HBO Max.
No, I remember. I just never watched it. I'm smarter than Jace. You know what I mean?
Hey, again, it's a lot of this. I watch shows for this show, but if that was a bridge, I'm like, no, Jeff, you and Gunner can do this. I'm off.
Doom Patrol was weird. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. I haven't watched the last season of that or Titans. I'm pulling a chief on Daredevil season 3.
Why would you watch Titans? It's like, wait.
Titans really was like, really?
Like, when they
You
have
don't want to
another
scare for the whole season?
when they have another Lex Luthor who decides I'm not bald, I just try and shave my head. It's like, but I got a great goatee. Like, what? Come on.
Yes. No, thank you. All right, so the strike is still going on. It's day 100. Neither side is budging. The studios seem to be like, this foot is so good and tasty. Let me have more. You're like, listen, we're saving so much money not having to pay these actors and writers.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the actors and writers like, word be. All right. They're doing like football holdouts where they're like incurring the fines on the studios. Like, you're going to pay this. We're writing this up every day. We're going to put this in to the fine that you owe us when we sit down to the table and renegotiate again. But I'm thinking, some of these shows aren't great, and I'm not missing watching crappy shows. But I definitely feel like the actors and writers need to get paid their due because the studios are really wilding out in terms of making all this money and then going, sorry, we don't have any anymore. I mean, like, they're 2 actors. Well, one's from a reality show, so we can't count him. But Billy Porter's going, I can't afford my house anymore. First of all, if you're doing as much stuff as Billy Porter, you need to pay the house, man. That just means you're having too many cool parties with all the people. But I mean, that's the first thing you do when you're in Hollywood. You pay out the house, right?
Man.
I mean, technically speaking, you got a financial planner that tells you hey, don't pay off the house. We're going to amortize this out to stretch your taxes out. You can use it as a deduction. Like,
what's old boy in Entourage?
Turtle?
No, gosh, no. Vinny's actual financial advisor.
Oh, Marv.
Marv, right? Okay. I don't know what you're doing, Vinny.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, I mean, I don't say it's funny, but I wonder, like, because I saw like a chart when they were showing like kind of the contract, like the revenue that they get from everybody else beside Netflix, and it was like, hey, Netflix, how the decline of cable television, and it's like, and you can see it's like, yeah, there's a point where you guys could break even right here, but you don't want to, and it's like because it was like there's a chart available. It's like you can see how many subscribers have cut the cord, but how many people have gone to Netflix, how many have gone to Hulu. It's like they're paying for that, like. You own half of y'all own Hulu or Netflix or all the others, so it's like you can't claim poverty when you actually own the stuff that you're giving it to. It's like, and you're now streaming, like you've decided to stream like your Disney Plus shows to ABC, which means that's actually more revenue that these guys should be getting. I mean, are probably happy. So it's like, yeah, you can't act like this isn't a thing and. Like, because you've already
that's a special case because Secret Invasion was terrible.
I mean, they decided somebody have this crap.
I was watching this show and this billionaire he's got I guess you call it a yacht, super yacht, paid $50 million for it, right? Mm-hmm. Him and his wife spend 2 weeks a year on it. Costs $5 million to maintain a year, right? So listen, how can I pay them if I've got $5 million bill on my yacht to maintain every year?
Makes sense to me, Chief.
You know what I mean? I can't listen. You know how many a new Ferrari comes out every year? LaFerrari, the 458. These are the things that they must own. 20,000 square foot houses, Olympic-sized swimming pools. And
I'm not gonna hit on them,
right? You want them to break bread with you, and give you your fair due. This man may not be able to get his Olympic-sized swimming pool. Maybe he has to go half. Maybe
Eddie. Half.
You know what I mean? There's just a saying, man. When you see your boss with a nice car. And he'll tell you straight up, listen, if you work hard, if you put in long hours, if you come to work and make sure that the revenue is flowing, he'll be able to get another one next year. So, you know what I mean? So this is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Like they're shocked. I mean, I'm a union guy, so I understand it. Like, you know, like they're not going to give up their money, whether it's 24 million, 25 million a year, whatever it is. So if they have to give up $1 billion so those guys can eat, listen, they're not. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? There's no trickle down effect.
Like,
you know what I mean?
But here's the thing: is like it. There comes a point like during the summer months where there's no TV on, you can get away with that, and I'm hoping when they actually do these contracts next time, they make sure it ends in the fall, so they can have it's like programming stops for the networks, and none of the Oscar movies don't get completed, none of the summer blockbusters, so they can actually like, hey, you're gonna feel this is just as much as we are, because the fact that they're like, we're saving $100 million by not paying anybody.
Right.
We're feeling awesome. And that's
the worst thing
a couple movies, so this is great for us. Like,
look, they probably got a couple of movies in the pocket. Just send them out. You're not paying anybody. Just put them out. And all that movie money is coming straight to your pocket. It's not, now's the time to drop it. Because nobody's got a contract. You don't have to pay any of them for it. It's a beautiful thing. Let me get look, also we're gonna see Aquaman. Look, we might even see movies sweeted.
We may see Batgirl.
Hey, honestly, because technically it's like Batgirl, its problems were probably visual effects. So they'd be like, y'all are still in the contract.
Yeah, I heard they were worse than the Flashes.
You remember, please, be kind, please rewind?
Of course.
Okay. Because when I say sweeted, I'm like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
That movie was great.
Sweeted, man. And then the company puts it out, and then look, they might be making $100 million off of that. You know, people might be starved for contract. Look, got my lightsaber. You know what I mean?
You're better than the Flash right there.
Is it a lightning lightsaber?
Hey, listen, I get one for lights up, and then if you're gonna pay to see it, I don't have to pay anybody. You know what I mean? That's just profit in my pocket.
Or I could bring Krull back and have my spinning glaive.
Listen, let me tell you something. If no content comes out in a couple of months, you can probably sit up there and spin that damn thing for about a half an hour, and people will pay to see that. Let me. Hey, Jeff's on. No, he's gonna spin it. He's gonna spin it. I heard
you guys talking about movies.
You'll be up in that trail. And people will be look, yeah. Oh, Jeff's OnlyFans spinning the spinners.
Don't forget to support. Yeah, man. It's some wild stuff because the studios don't care. And they're like, you know what? This whole strike is making us rethink our content strategy. Where we're trying to put so much out for our different streaming platforms, we're going to really focus on quality instead of quantity. I'm like, y'all should have been doing that from jump. It's not about, the quality. It's about people dishing your streaming platforms and going, yeah, this isn't worth it. And I'm thinking, everybody, all these studio heads had these big eyes like Roger Rabbit with dollar signs, seeing what Netflix was doing. I didn't realize the only reason Netflix worked was because they had everything. It wasn't because they had one studio or two studios. They had access to Disney, CW, Warner Brothers, you name it, New Line Cinema. Everything they wanted was right there. And then everybody started, we're taking our ball and going home. And people were like, cool, you've got this. Great. Cool. But I can just watch it on TNT with commercials. Or then they start doing the dumb stuff. You better watch it now, or this is leaving Max. It's going to be off of Disney Plus. And I'm like, really? Where's it going?
It's off our server for 2 months. I saw that for was it Mean Girls? Like the last time to watch it is September 1st. So if I know you do that, I'll just buy the dang movie.
Or I'll just go behind you and borrow your Mean Girls Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's not. Imagine using that same phrase you use for your favorite restaurant. hey, we're gonna focus on quality instead of quantity. Like, you know what I mean?
We're gonna make sure these fries are crisp every time.
Put that in any text. A car. Hey, listen, this year Toyota, we're gonna focus on quality instead of quantity. Like it's crappy for any context you put it in. Your favorite grocery store. Listen.
This time the milk's gonna be fresh. Oh
yeah. Come on down to Pick and Choose. And this time we've got quality meat for you. You know what I mean? I know you've been tired of eating what we've been putting out.
Yeah.
Like, what have you been putting out?
It's gonna be good.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's like, y'all know it was bad. Y'all just shoveling out for us.
Right.
We'd be hungry. The pandemic's over.
You know what I mean?
It's like the thing is, like, these streaming wars, it's losing the studios money until they consolidate to get back to like where it's 2 or 3 of them again. It's like,
right,
you guys could just stop trying to. You could literally make more money instead of having your Paramount Plus. Just license it out to HBO Max and
no, you mean Max.
It will actually make you more money versus having all these hardware and all these engineers and all these things, and just everybody just goes back to Netflix. It's like, and Netflix will raise your price, and then you say, hey, I wanna wet my beak a little. Like, come on, like
if a nickel bag gets sold in the park, I want in. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's done, man.
Yeah, it's quite ridiculous. All right, speaking of ridiculous, fellas, I don't think there's any other news going, but it is that magical time. Who are your nominees for Dummies of the Week? With the Afton John. Right, bro. I'm gonna shake the whole concept up. I'm gonna let you go first.
You're gonna let me go first? Wow.
Yeah.
This is new and unique. So I think my dummy of the week is the idiots who started the brawl in Alabama. Like, I mean, when you see that, it's like, don't just randomly jump in and play and not assume that all hell is gonna break loose. And that's what all you saw. You got WWE share shots coming. It was all bad. So just don't jump out there, folks. Like, it's just act like there are consequences for your actions. Don't think this is a TV show. There are bad consequences if you try and do stuff. So that's my dummy of the week.
All right. Well, mine clearly, yes. The boat brawl was amazing. See, that's the kind of thing that Vince McMahon is going, hey, you know something about Pally? We should probably do that, Triple.
You're
going to come swimming from the boat. They're going to have a steel chair, maybe a little barbed wire, and yeah, they're going to jump down from the balcony.
And that was like WCW when they thought it was a bash at the beach. I mean, like, that was just dumb as heck.
My nominee, 100%, has to be, without a doubt, Colin Cowherd, who said Dwayne Haskins can't win a Super Bowl. Now, that makes sense because Dwayne Haskins is no longer alive. I don't know how. I mean, Colin makes some wild hot takes, but yeah, I mean, he was breaking down quarterbacks who have no shot at winning a Super Bowl. And his list is really bad. It's got Jared Goff, Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson. And then he goes, hey, Dwayne Haskins.
He doesn't just go Dwayne Haskins. He doubles down after he mentions Dwayne Haskins. He says it again, like, yeah, Dwayne Haskins. Like, were your producers trolling you? Like, let's see if he says everything we write down.
With my man Ron Burgundy.
You know, read everything he say. Like, I mean, just the fact it's like, I'm just like, I know everybody's seen that video. I'm just like, okay, is the next segment where he actually apologizes? Like, I said Dwayne Haskins, I'd like to apologize to his family. My apologies. Like, I haven't seen that video, so the fact he hasn't done that is pretty.
I'm sure it's still coming. All right, Blake was talking about the boat brawl. That was just senseless. Did you guys see the men who did the boat brawl parody? I have not.
Yes.
Oh man, time for me to check.
Is the boat brawl Montgomery?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, there's, I think I'll send it to you.
Okay,
The guys who did this, the parodies actually really good.
yeah, the memes are just all over the place. I mean, there's some real creativity going.
Yeah.
All right, Chief, send us home. Who's your nominee?
Well, I'm gonna go exactly with Jacob for different reasons. Once the hat, see, if you're come to punch somebody in their head, and this is how you know these guys are true. Once the hat goes in the air, you have to recognize that is like the bat signal. That's why he threw it. It was up there. It went about 50 feet up. It was recognized. People from all around was like, "Oh, the hat's up." The hat is almost the same as a oh. So once you see the hat go in the air, you have to be prepared that people are coming. Because listen, I have had my hat blow off in the wind, and several people have showed up. Man, everything all right? See, the wind got it. Because
all right, fam.
you know what I mean? Everything cool. The wind got it. It blew up. I apologize. I wasn't sending the signal. So once the signal goes up, once you take the hat up, it's, hey, man, they're coming. They're coming. You have to recognize that. Somebody should have stopped him from throwing the hat up, and none of this would have happened. They would have been able to beat him peacefully on the dot.
Peacefully, oh God.
But once they threw the hat up, everybody from around, oh, what is that? A hat? It's like a flare. Is that a hat? Man, who took that hat off the head and threw it up? Man, let's go over and see about that. Let me tell you something. Everybody who has a hat, you love that hat. You bought that hat, you love that hat. And for you to go outside and throw that hat up in the air, something has to be going on. So, listen, man, I saw a hat go up in the air the other day, and I drove the opposite way because I didn't want to get involved. You understand what I'm saying? I said, is that a hat? Man, my car was and I got out of there. I didn't know what was going on, but the signal went up. I knew I wasn't going to be involved. These people over here, they got, listen, they should have hopped on that boat at the time. Oh, the hat went up. Let's get in the boat. Ooh, and drove off. But they didn't recognize the signs. You know what I mean? They ignored the hat in the air. They thought he was just throwing the hat up in the air off the random. Why would a dude throw the hat up 50 feet in the air? He could have just took his hat off. No, that's the signal, bro. You have to recognize the signal when you go to beat somebody up. What does he have? You know what I mean?
The boat bat signal went up.
It went up.
It really did.
And look, the one dude recognized it. He jumped off the other boat. He was like, "Hats up, I'm in there." And then the rest of the dudes came running. Listen, so next time you go to hurt a dude or you get into a fight with a dude and he throws that hat in the air, if you're not prepared, then get the hell out of there. Don't you get involved with that hat, bro.
I think I was asking, did you guys see what happened in New York with the weird Twitch?
There was a riot. I heard there was a riot basically because you hear giving up was it free PlayStation 5s?
Oh, that deal. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's a good nominee too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were that many people excited to get a PS5 for free.
Man, people just like to gather for chaos. It's what's that Uncle Alfred or Butler Alfred. He was like, some people just like seeing the world burn. And that's what they showed up to do, bro. They showed up to watch the world burn, man. They wasn't interested in they had no intention of getting they was like, man, we're gonna go down there, man, and we're gonna bust some car windows out, we're gonna cause trouble. That's what we're gonna make this park burn. And that's what they did. They had no intention on it. Yeah, you need 5 hats, man. But really, if you got a nice little squad, you could just take your one hat and just throw it up high. Listen, if I see it, Blake, I'm coming running, man. You know what I mean?
30 seconds of fury.
30 seconds pure. 30 seconds pure. You'll probably step back like, yo, who called that wild grizzly? That ain't wild grizzly. I'll give you 30 seconds of pure fury, pure wild grizzly. You'll be like, oh my God, he's in that joint. Remember Gentle Ben? When he was young, Gentle Ben, you'd be like, damn, Gentle Ben is crazy. 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
I like
you got it, bro. I got you. But yeah, man, they just wanted to see the world. But that's what happens, man. You call people out nowadays, they don't come for the stuff. They come for the trouble, man. I mean, they was literally just jumping on cars. Like when you see some, you know what, man? I dream of the day I come outside and some teenage boy is jumping up and down on the hood of my car.
And that's the one time we just need to. So where are you, Lonnie?
Bro,
We'll come for you.
don't worry. I'm throwing my hat in the air, and then a tear is gonna come down my eye like a Missoula Indian, and I'm gonna grab that dude by his ankles, and I'm going to pull him off of that car onto the concrete. I'm trying to tell you, bro, it is crazy, man. Listen, I don't even want to get involved. Let me just tell you, man. Because people nowadays, man, they just stop and watch. Man, he is really destroying my car. And I'm just looking like, man, if you don't grab that dude and pull him off the top of your car, like what is stopping you from grabbing this dude and just pulling him off the top of your car?
People they don't want the confrontation.
Bro, this dude is stomping on your car. Like they got a thing now where people just walk into your house for TikTok. The walk into a person's house challenge.
I understand. Tupac.
And you walk into my house? Oh, tell you, bro. Exactly, man. You know, I'm telling you, man. Hey, bro, it's not gonna happen. There's certain things that's not gonna go down, man. And somebody jumping on my car is not one of them. Yeah. And I've seen people jump on people's cars in real life, and I've always. I remember the person was jumping on the car. I looked at the dude. And I was thinking to myself, you want to do something? And he didn't do anything. And I was just like, that's amazing.
I mean, I'm going to be out without a car for, let's just say, a week.
Right.
I might have to be out of work for this moron. Nah,
that's not. I need some satisfaction.
You need some satisfaction.
Exactly.
You need to pull this dude off the hood of your car. You know what I mean? So next time when he thinks about jumping on the car, he's going to look around for you. About to jump on this car,
or your hat in the air.
You know what I mean? Like, this is not his car. He's not in the audience. Listen, yeah, you got to stop it. At some point, you got to step in and do your thing, man, because they're wilding. They are wild.
They're wilding.
Yep.
All right, well, fellas, thank you as always for another exciting, entertaining episode. I never know where it's going to go, but from Grizzly Bear and it's thrown in the air. And of course, when we dropped off of some of our favorite TV shows and franchises. Thank you all hanging out with us, spending another Wednesday night with us. Afton Child, Blake Tarpley, 80s kid from the 90s, James Green, Anthony Rogers, Mason Carroll. Sure got everybody covered who hung out with us tonight. I believe that is it. Thank you all out there for watching and listening. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.